There is Nigeria as a nation, then there is Nigeria as a country.
First, in Nigeria, we don't have education system. We actually have school system.
Businesses don't fail. You go to the mind handling the businesses. Then the mind doesn't fail. You go to the informations that are in the mind.
What we learn in school today is outdated.
Because we are being known as African giants. But now, that name is lagging.
It's behind Nigerians' predicament.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to Leaders View, a podcast by BM Class Organization. We'll be bringing to you relevant information, strong information that will be helping our nation, Nigeria, and globally. So my name is Choma Jane, and with me is
Patrick,
and we are the hosts.
At Leaders View, we share insightful knowledge on topics. Today, we'll be talking on nation building, the factors that makes up a nation, the factors that make them a great one, that makes a nation great. So in our presence today, we have great leaders, we have great minds, people who have studied in depth to understand this top subject matter. So first of all, we'll be introducing our first teacher. Her name is Miss Opara Janet. She's a transformational speaker. And we have Miss Confidence John. She's an emotional intelligence coach.
And at my left hand side, we have one of the biggest and great entrepreneurs in the house, Mr. Annie Collins Mary. And here we have the leaders of leaders, the one that coaches leaders, by name Miss Ozioma Jane Francis.
So today we have sets of things that we want to discuss with you guys. And then the first of all, we're going to be talking about the education system, because most of the thing that makes up a nation basically is the education system, what they study and what they learn. So I would like if there's anyone who could give us an insight on how our education system affects our country on nation building. So.
Hello everyone, my name is Opara Janet Amarachi and I'm a transformational speaker. So like the question you asked, you said, how does education system affect nation building? So first of all, education system in Nigeria, we all know how it works. In Nigeria, we practice a 6-3-3-4 system in Nigeria, where in the primary school, we spend 6 years, then the junior secondary school, we have 3 years, and the senior secondary school, we have 3 years, and then the university, we have four years. So that's a 6-3-3-4 system. So what I'll be talking about is how the system is being structured. Well, let me just talk about the university level. We know how the system is being structured. We know that. What I want to talk about now is that what we learn in school today is actually, I'll put it in a way that I'll say that it is outdated. The information we get from school today is outdated. We learn like things that our forefathers, like they brought into the system, like is not really helping. I'm sorry to use that word, our forefathers, because it's something that has been way back, like an ancient teaching. So these things actually affect, like they don't really bring anything to us. Like it's just, there's what we need to learn. Like we are in a different period. It's crashing. Like, so what we need to do and how we need to restructure this thing is actually learn the era, know what is working in this era, and bring that system, bring that what is working into this era, so it makes it more effective. Like youth in these days, we know that we're in a computer age. So we need to learn something that is actually consistent, that works in this era, not bringing an outdated system into this era. So these things are actually affecting us. And as students that we are, we should also learn, school should be a system that brings out what you have within you. It should be something that brings out what you have within you, not suppress what you have. So what we are learning in school today is actually suppressing what we have and not bringing it out. So I guess this is one of the problems. In fact, a major problem in education system in Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Miss Opara Janet.
So anyone who...
Thank you very much, Miss Opara Janet. So from here, I'll be asking, she said something like that we need to bring something out from us when it comes to the educational system. So I want us to explain how can they bring this out from us? How can we bring these potentials out from the students, out from the youth, and all of that, please?
Okay, you talked about bringing the potentials in when it comes to the education system. Okay, first of all, I want to clarify something. Nigeria, we don't have education system. We actually have school system. Because school system will make you school system is whereby they make you a jobber, not a thinker. We need education system that make you a global thinker, whereby when you go to school, you come out by creating something, not you seeking for job. We have a lot of graduates there. They don't even have this mindset of what can I create. The person that created AI is a human being, and if you actually check it, the person may not go to school. He did not pass through the school system, but he passed through education system. So education system is what steers up your potential. So first of all, we need leaders in this school system. Will I say empowerment, training the leaders first, because one thing with leadership is influence. Just imagine in university stage, you see a lecturer earning 160,000. What mindset do you want those children to have? Seeing your lecturer with this kind of dressing, the environment alone is not shaping, is shaping that mindset or the mindset of the student to a particular thing. So there have to be a positive school environment. We have to train the teachers in something. Then we also need to change the school's curriculum.
Okay. Is there any platform that is organizing this kind of thing?
Yes, I know of one. We have BM Class Organization.
Okay.
And this is a platform that is actually empowering the youth, the young ones. So many leaders should focus on empowering our young ones to become great thinkers and not jobbers, and also to change the school curriculum. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. So what we have understood in this section is that firstly, we need to bring out things from ourselves. We need to bring out potentials from ourselves. And one of the platforms that is going to help us to bring out potentials from ourselves is the BM Class Organization. So you have to locate us, or you like our videos, then you follow us so that you can get more insight on what we talk about. Then I'll be entering the next session, which is the business aspect. So I'll be going to our entrepreneur, our great entrepreneur in the house. So the question is, what is the challenges entrepreneurs face when it comes to Nigeria as a country?
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I thank the BM Class Organization for always empowering the youth with knowledge and information. And that is basically the major problem of starters or entrepreneurs in this country. The first thing is that they lack the necessary information. Because it's the information that make up the mindset that they'll use and now go into the business. Business only comes to show the mind of the person handling a business. So you go to the business. If the business fails, don't worry about the business. Businesses don't fail. You go to the mind handling the businesses. Then the mind doesn't fail. You go to the informations that are in the mind that are now handling the businesses. So the first major problem that we're having is the information that we have. And that goes to what I love what our dear Janet and Jen Francis said here, the information, the education sector, they are really messing us up, but it doesn't, you don't have to do that. You need to get an educational system. So the major problem, like I said, is the information. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. So one of the greatest things that we face as Nigerian entrepreneurs is information.
Yeah, right.
Not just the business, but the information. Okay.
So the second question I have here for you all is that when we look at businesses, we know some are better off than the others for starters. So there are some businesses that young entrepreneurs can delve in to get good money, like legit money or genuine money. So we want you to tell us the businesses, like a young entrepreneur is trying to start up. What business can I venture in to get my capital?
Okay, thank you so much for that. One of the businesses that young people can actually engage, I don't think business is actually the problem, but is what they have upstairs, being able to fit into that qualification of what you're being assigned to do. So I think there needs to be a lot of information, like what Master Collins just said now, information, knowing what you really want and going for it. So I first will recommend that one should be able to get their value, having the understanding of what is your value before venturing into. Are you a person that you enjoy sewing, your passion is fashion designing? What is your connection with medlab? It has no connection. So I will encourage young people to go for what is their value, what they are so passionate for, that they can do it even in the midst of no pay, in the midst of no pay. Like, for example, an instance was given that when you mention Elon Musk, what comes to your mind? When you mention Mark Zuckerberg, what comes to your mind? Their value is speaking for them. Their value is speaking. And if you check most of them, it's not what they read in school that they are actually doing now or is generating their wealth. So I'll first recommend that you first find your value. Then when you get that, there are other businesses like real estate. When it comes to investment, there are also other businesses that are generating income in the economy. So the business is not actually the issue here. It is the value that you're giving out. What you give is what you receive. So the more you reach out to your targeted audience, you're being able to generate more income and revenue to yourself. Thank you so much.
So from what you're saying, you're majorly answering. This is a question that most Nigerians ask. That this is getting money. This one gets more money than this. So when I do real estate, I get more money than me going to school doing this one. So like we are trying to clear this view that yeah, I know the information should be right, but we will need you need to, like, some of our audience may like to know, like, what should they do at the point of them learning, because some of all these skills now requires learning. So for you, for as a programmer now, I really need, like, as someone who is into tech, you need a lot of money to do what you are doing. So some data, some mentorship, some learning. So what do I do? What do I venture in to get the money when mommy daddy does not want me, does not want to give me money for it? So
Thank you again. So what you're trying to say in instances is what I should be doing. What should I do when I find myself in a situation where I have little or no funds to facilitate something? So I'll first say that you can start from wherever you are. That should not be your limitation, because one thing with the Nigerian youth, sorry to say this, is because they have not been able to find the need to study, to learn. Most of them are just there for comfort, easy way to make money. Because if you check the people that we call millionaires and billionaires in our country right now, if they tell you their backstories, you will see that there is no reason for you to lack. There's no need for you to give excuses. So you can start from wherever you find yourself. You can start from, even if it's that one room or little or no shelter and food, but let the vision be there, let the passion be there, and you should go for knowledge. Go for knowledge. There are organizations like the BM class organization that is always here and ready to help you when it comes to coaching, when it comes to mentoring. So there is a lot of platform that is there for you to be able to invest in your knowledge. They are ready to invest knowledge to you and empower you on what to do. That is why I brought in the concept of value. So if you're to start with something, you have to first identify what you are good in. Identify what you're good in. When you're able to get that, that is why the people go for school of they go for school of medicine, they specialize in that, or they go to the school where they learn how to cook and they become professional chefs, and they go for this and become, like, they go to school where they are fashion designers and they are make very, very big brands. So I'll say this, I'll keep saying this, that value should be first inculcated in us, because until you understand what you want, you are not clear and you don't go for what you don't understand. Thank you.
yeah. So Janet, I would like you to also air your view. I know you're a transformational speaker. So Can you tell us a little bit?
Okay, thank you. So when it comes to if there is actually, sorry, what's the question again? Sorry, what's the question?
What like side what like what business should you do?
Okay, if you have little or no capital. So first of all, what I would say about that is there is no limitation for you. So if you think that maybe capital is a limitation for you, because whatever you see as a limitation, whatever you see as a stumbling block is going to be a stumbling block for you. So there is no limitation for you, only that in which your mind perceive as a limitation. So as if you have a business idea and you have little or no capital, first of all, you need to understand the fact that your mind has power. Your mind has power to attract that which you want. So even if you are, like she said, even if you are sleeping under the bridge or you have no shelter at all or anything, just have this mindset that the future is there. You know what you want, you imagine what you want, you visualize what you want. So your mind has that power to attract whatever you want. So just have this mindset of positivity, have this mindset that I can get what I want. Just make your mind be in a positive set or a positive situation. That is what I can say about that.
Thank you very much, Ma. So we'll be entering the next sector, which is the political sector. So now in this sector, I'll be asking the man at my left hand side, please, the way Nigeria is moving, can you tell me who is actually behind our predicament? Who is actually behind everything that's happening?
Oh, thank you so much again for the opportunity to air my view. I love the question, who is behind Nigeria's predicament?
Exactly.
That makes me to say something. My mentor once said there is Nigeria as a nation, then there is Nigeria as a country. Nigeria as a nation, you're talking about the people, the hearts, the people that are there. In Nigeria as a country, you're talking about just a geographical area, a region, you understand? Now, Nigeria as a country, the predicament is based on the person, the mind that is handling that region, and these are the leaders. So whatever is in the mindset, like like the leader of Dubai, there was a time that Dubai was not as it was now. Of course, we have read the book Division, you would understand that is the mind of the leader that brought forth, that bettered out what you are seeing as Dubai today. So it is the mind of the leaders or the group of leaders that is in charge of the predicament of Nigeria in this case. Then Nigeria as a nation, the Nigerians, the predicament of Nigerians and the predicament of Nigeria is two different things. The predicament of Nigerians, the people that are, listen, the people that are in charge of the predicament of Nigerians are Nigerians. I'm sorry, you have to, it's true. I'm sorry. It's just Nigerians, everyone on their own, in the same region. Some people are succeeding, some people are failing, some people are doing this, some people are going into crime, some people are, it's only the mind. It's only the mind. People need to come to the understanding that their mind holds the power to bring them forth what they want, like our dear leader Janet said here. Yeah. You understand? So the predicament, everything that you are seeing in your life, in anyone's life as Nigerians, is what their mind has bettered forth. So if their mind can bet forth sickness, their mind can bet forth divine health. The mind that bettered forth poverty, living under bridges, the mind can also bet forth wealth, abundance. Now, I'm not now downplaying the fact that some people were born into the lower areas, poverty and all that, and they were not given the knowledge. I'm not downplaying the fact. But at a point, you have to know that your willpower, you have the will to change. You can decide today that no more. That from today you begin to impute in your mind, because the mind can only bet for what is already taken in. Now you need to change the information in your mind so you can be able to create a different predicament. Okay. Thank you so much.
So I want to ask Ms. Jane Francis, please. She said that our mind is able to produce what we want. So I wanted you to explain to us, how is the mind? How can I view the mind? Is there anything I can do? How can I study? Is there any book? How do I just understand this mind so as me myself as a Nigerian now can now start developing my mind, developing the minds of my siblings, so that we can have a better Nigeria, because all that we are looking for now is having a better Nigeria.
Thank you very much for that question. Okay, when we talk about the mind, we need to understand consciousness. Like consciousness, what you give attention to. And we need to understand the power of thought. Now, when we talk about the mind is actually divided into two, conscious and subconscious. Now, when you talk about conscious, it's something that you are conscious of. When you talk about subconscious, it's something that it's is not selective. Now, let's see the mind now as like an earth, as a soil. So if I drop, I'm a gardener. If I don't plant something on this earth, it will grow, right? Something is going to grow. What is that? Wheat. Then if I want to plant corn, I need to sow something there, and it will bring out what?
Corn.
Yeah. So now a lot of us have we are not investing in our mindset. So the environment or things around is sowing things unknowingly to us. So now that seed there is the thought that comes into your mind. What thoughts do you have for the nation? What thoughts do you have concerning things? What is it, negative things? Is it positive things? Because you are like the gardener that guard your garden. So you have the power to to know the thoughts that comes in. Now, once the thought comes in, how do you feel? How do you feel? How do you react to that thing? Because we need to understand that after thought creates feeling. Feeling creates action.
So what you mean is, if I want to be a billionaire tomorrow, or if I want to be the president of Nigeria tomorrow, all I just need to do is picture myself as a billionaire, and then I'll start planting that seed of picturing myself as
Watching it.
yes,
Yeah.
billionaire or
Things you do,
president.
visualizing yourself,
Okay.
visualizing form, not
So
form.
how many percent do you think that this will work? Like, if I do it, how sure are you that it will work?
95% of everything we see here comes from the subconscious mind.
Okay.
So now it happens. It happens. I don't know if you've been in this situation whereby you are thinking of someone. You are thinking of someone, and eventually the person calls you.
Okay.
That's how the mind works. So there's this mindset of you need something. When I mean subconsciously, or when I mean this thing, you have think about it. You are feeling that way. So is 95% guaranteed that whatever you think of, even the Bible said, as a man thinketh in his heart, that heart there is not the conscious, it's the subconscious mind. So it is. So whatever you think of, you behold. So if you actually want to change this, you need to first start from the mind, because that's where the problem is.
Okay,
That's
thank
the
you very
greatest
much.
asset we need
Thank
to
you very
invest
much.
in.
So is there any book to read? Is there anything that I can do?
Yes, there are a lot
The way
of.
to invest in my mind.
That's one thing I love this platform, BM Class Organization. It's not just about giving out knowledge, not just about mentorship. They've created courses, they've created books to read, mentorship, and others. So you can actually just come to the platform and actually ask for.
One of the books.
Yes.
Okay.
And
So there's books on the mind that I can read. Okay. Thank you very much. So
So also we have another question on the politics of this country. So we want to know, how can this nation be great again? Yeah. So we have seen that there are predicaments, there are little problems there. So how do we make this nation great? How do we make it great?
Okay, thank you so much again. So the question goes like this: how can I make my country or my nation great? That is a very powerful question. And I'll start with this. There is a two-way question. First, it has to come in the concept of the leaders. Then another one has to come in concept of those that are being led. So it's ways a two-way question. So the leaders have their own part to play. Then the people have their own part to play. So one of the things I'll be able to bring first is transformation. Until there is transformation, things continue to go as it is. Systems needs to be changed, structures need to be aligned to be able to ascertain which country we want. There has to be a vision of what we want Nigeria to look like. We can look at countries like America, Dubai. These countries are not just there because they chose to be there, but they were able to sacrifice some certain things and put things in place. So I would say transformation is needed in the educational system, in the business sector. In this business section, there are things that we need to implant in. So knowledge is needed. There are some centers that are supposed to be built. They're supposed to be like transformational centers that will refurnish and rechange the mindsets of our youths, of the young people, and brush them in becoming who we want them to be or what they ought to be like. In the case of the youths that are being jobless and unemployment and all that, being able to make them to understand who they truly are and empower them to be able to make our country productive. If we check, we'll see close to 90% of the production that we receive here in Nigeria are imported. Most of the things that we use here are merely foreign products. We hardly use our thing.
By the way, is that a bad thing that 95% of all our products are coming from outside?
It is not encouraging because we are enriching other nations in the sense that we now rely on our resources on them, and it generates funds for them. So it makes us to always like be in need when we have the potential, when we have the resources to generate what we want. In the case of agricultural products, in the case of petroleum and oil, these are things that our country is blessed, is richly blessed. And when we come to look at the things and the resources, the gold, the mine, and the coal that Nigeria has, it is enough for Nigeria to generate our wealth. The people are not productive. Sorry to say this, they are not productive. They rely on other systems. They go out there to get what they want when what we really have is embedded here. So I said it's a two-way street. The leaders have their own part to play and the people have their own part to play. So I first noted transformation before then empowerment. So systems have to put in place, structures have to be implemented for our country to move from where she is now to where she ought to be. Because like one of our leaders once said, the educational system is now outdated. It's outdated. So what should we do? There should be a sector of people that are regulating how far we have been. Is this where we ought to be now? In the past 30 years, we can see that there are a lot of things that are supposed to have been put in place. Nigeria should be one of the leading countries because we are being known as African giants. But now, that name is langing.
Giant is giant.
So we are being known as African giants, but there's nothing like, are we actually the giants of Africa?
It's like they have killed the giant, like David.
So that is one of the things we have to put in place. That's one of the things we have to put in place. So thank you.
So also you talked about the two-way street. So the people being led and the leaders involved. So is there anyone that can chip in things to the leaders? What should they do? So Zanet, could you speak on it?
Okay. For the leaders' parts, right? So the thing is that for you to dominate or for you to succeed in a particular sphere of operation, you need to seek knowledge. You need to understand what part you play. So for the leaders, they need to like seek for knowledge. If you permit me to make some biblical references, let's look at the time of Joshua and the Israelites. You will understand that Joshua was the leader at that time. And if you check the history, the time when the Israelites were being led by Joshua, you will see what they actually achieved. They were productive. You will see that what they did at that time was exceptional because they have a leader that understands the dealings of God. They had a leader that sought for knowledge. So you would see that Joshua himself was someone that was directly under the leadings of God. He was led by God. He listened to God. He was obedient to God. So bringing it down to this contemporary era, for leaders to know their part, for them to succeed as a good leader, they need to actually seek God. I'll bring it up that aspect of they need to seek God, they need to understand God, they need to seek knowledge, they need to have reverence for God, because it is God that actually directs our paths, is the one that leads us and everything. So for them to succeed, for them to lead a great nation, they need to follow God. They need to follow His principle. They need to obey Him. So it's from there they understand themselves also, because when you seek God, you understand yourself, you go for transcendence, what we call transcendence. So you seek for a higher power, and from there, this higher power leads you and directs you. So there are some things that you can't actually be successful, you can't do on your own. If you're depending on this three-dimensional realm, there are some things that are limited to you. But it is when you seek higher, when you look higher, when you depend on a higher being, that is when you can actually succeed. So I will urge the leaders today for them to just seek God. That's what I'll just tell them, just for them to seek God, because it's from there they will get to understand themselves and understand how to lead a great nation.
Yeah, so I think that's nice. That's nice. So I believe the Bible tells us that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. So for us to have great and mighty leaders in our generation and in our time, they should seek God, and through seeking God, they get knowledge, and then they are able to rule us. They will not rule us like Ahab. They rule us like Joshua. So, and we are moving up to the next one. So, we are going to be talking about economy. So, when we look at our economy now, it's something not to be proud of, because I don't see why a great nation that has a lot of resources and everything is in debt. So my question today is, like, what's the reason for having these debts in this? What's the reason? Why do we have debts? A great nation, we have petroleum, we have gold, we have coal, we have a lot. When I mean a lot, to the extent that every state has what it is producing. But why are we still in debt? So is there anyone who could answer for us?
Okay. Why is our country in debt? I think this question should be basically the question that should be asked to not only the people but the leaders in power. Why are we in debt? Why the inflation, why the mismanagement of resources, why the increase in sales and all that, when we fully know that our country is blessed. Okay, that comes to the aspect of what I meant by productivity. If you look at countries like China, these people have been able to, utilize their people in producing resources as easy as a pencil, that they are able to manage what they have. They are not as rich, sorry to say this, as Nigerian, but they are able to use human resources to generate wealth and facilitate the growth of their country. They have been able to acknowledge their citizens, and their governments have been able to put systems that provide for each and every one of their citizens. So they care for their people, and their people in return vice versa. So they've been able to place systems and structures that will be able to generate wealth. So there is a limit to what should be imported in a country, and there should be a need for it. So whatever they are importing and exporting, there is generating income and revenue for them. So in the case of human resources, Nigeria is lacking. It's not in the case of job or being jobbers, but being able to raise potential entrepreneurs in their businesses, being able to facilitate companies, being able to put in place centers that will generate knowledge and insight on what to do. Like if you come in the case of let us say the business sector, we can be able to note that good governments, when like I say, when the good person is empowered, people rejoice. Okay, so we all know the paraphrase of the other statement. And It's also going to those in power. Everybody is a leader. Don't get me wrong. Everybody is a leader. A sit-at-home mom is a leader. She's training her children. So whatever she trains them to be, she becomes to the society. If she fails in her work, the children end up being waywards, being criminals, and adding more things to the country. So everybody is the leaders until we understand who we are, and that the position is not left for only the leaders, but each and every one of us have a part to play. Then the country will shift from where she is to where she's supposed to be. And it takes not just the leader's voice, but action, implementing resources, implementing systems on what to do and how to do it. When the youths are being able to not depend on their hard work or their physical hand, but also know that there's mental work that needs to be inculcated. Okay, I listed China. They are utilizing their human resources despite the country being overpopulated. So you can imagine that the fact that they are able to utilize. So imagine this our country that is blessed with so many resources like petroleum. I still don't understand why there are no refineries in our country. We still need to import our own resources there and still pay for it. And you expect them not to increase the sale of the oil, and you are complaining there is increase. Okay, how much do they sell? Like all this
A
this
liter of
a liter of kerosene or fuel.
Kerosene is off the market. It's off the market.
Okay, that is not kg of gas for students now. Okay, today now is 1,000.
1,500.
Before you go and come back from school, it's now 1,500. Everybody's crying, no money, no money. While they are still in that midst of economy, there are people that are rejoicing, are blowing this money. That is why human resources need to be taken note of. Human resources need to be taken note of.
Okay.
I still don't understand why we are blessed with lands. We are blessed with lands that yam is supposed to be as cheap as. Let me just estimate. Let me just do not exaggerate.
No.
You can't even see yam of 200 in the market.
No, I think the problem there is that this there are some people are painting this scenario that since fuel is high, since people are raising their perception high, I too need to raise my perception high. So I'm buying, apart from the yam I'm producing, I also need tomato to eat, right? I also need rice to eat. So because these people have increased their price,
The problem is not now from the leaders. It's now within the people. That is now within the people.
There's how you look at it, it looks one-sided. So it's just like when somebody gets something now and sees this price, let me say as the manufacturer, and what it took me to manufacture it is let's say 100 naira, and then I tell you what I'm going to sell it to you is 500.
Okay.
Then you need to make some gains. Then you put it to 700. You understand? So it keeps increasing. So there's a level where the leaders are supposed to.
So like
So I don't know.
many like say that many investments have been made, and so they've added so much profit in search of gain that there is still gain, but a bigger gain.
So I wanted to ask a question. I wanted to ask: is it that it's only petroleum that we have in Nigeria?
No.
Is there any other sector?
There are so many resources like gold, we have diamonds, we have agricultural products like timber, we have cocoa, we have rubber. Like we have so many things.
Okay, and also you say something that we are lacking potential entrepreneurs. Yeah, we are lacking potential entrepreneurs, and we need to train potential entrepreneurs in the house so that they can direct us when it comes to the business aspect of it, and also when it comes to the economic aspect of it.
Yeah.
So my question goes to the entrepreneur.
Yes,
Okay.
they need to deal on that.
Yes. So my question wants to go to the entrepreneur now. So now, in the business aspect of it, and also in the economic aspect of it, how is this petroleum business and other businesses? How is it profitable, sef, to Nigeria at this moment, or is it profitable to people outside Nigeria? And how can we make it profitable to us as Nigerians?
Thank you so much for this opportunity. Um, obviously, obviously, everything is profitable
Okay.
if you decide it to be. The mineral resources that we have, the human resources, everything. I love what our leader just said. Everything we have can be profitable to us. In fact, it is profitable already, but maybe to somebody else or to another country. So it's already profitable, highly profitable, highly profitable. So it's not about the profitability. It's just about, and it's not even about, it's about the people leading the country or the people managing these things, because you can't tell me that it's someone under the bridge that is thinking about the cocoa in the farm. You can't tell me someone that is trying to plant tomato is thinking about the oil that they are taking in River State. No, some people don't care about this, so they have elected somebody
Yeah.
to care for all these matters. You understand? Now, it's those people, the mind of those people that are handling these matters. If the heart is for the people, everything will be for the people. But I don't think that's the case here. So the heart is for something else. Remember, everything in this third dimensional realm is a replica, is the same thing as in the heart of somebody. You understand? So if we want this to be profitable, if the leaders decide that it will be profitable and put it in their heart and put it in their mind for it to be profitable, before you know it, everything will be profitable.
There is a current situation that is going on in Nigeria right now. The data aspect, they're increasing data day by day. That today you go and then even yesterday I bought data of 350, 1 gig, and then this morning it was 500. Like
For 1 gig.
just in the space of 1 hour, it just changed.
And it's static then.
And it's just continuously going higher. So I don't know, how did this start, and who are the people behind all these things?
I love the question, but I want to bring two perspectives to this. That everything is going high is not a problem if we are all going higher.
Oh,
If the tariff is going higher and my income is going high, it doesn't matter. I'm just moving according to the problem is some people are stagnant. The problem of this, the thing that everything is going high, some people don't care. They don't even notice.
exactly. They have this starting
Why?
dance
Because
challenge.
if the tariff is moving one step, they are moving 5 steps.
There are people praying for it.
But the problem is that so as the tariff is moving one step, some people are moving 5 steps backwards. Some are not even moving, some are just there. You know, so it comes in two ways. First of all, if you are stagnant, if you are moving backward, change your mind. Your mind is only bringing out, you are only bringing out what is in your mind. Change your mind, change your mindset, change the information there. Start moving forward.
Okay.
You understand? That's the first perspective. The second perspective is, you know, when they say things are moving forward up, it's not necessarily how do I put it, it's a problem, but at the same time it's not necessarily a problem. Over time in the wrong shot, something will always happen. Inflation will always come, more money it will always go further. You are not expecting something to go so down. It will always keep going, things will keep increasing in value, inflation will keep happening. So this is a normal something.
Okay.
The thing now is, are you moving as it is moving? Are you stagnant?
But I think, there are some systems you create, it stabilizes. But because when you look at the time of Abacha, at the time of Abacha, money was leaving this country. There were lots of corruption going on. But you see that man, at the same time, dollar was at the same rate. Everything was still going the same way. So there was a price, the price was constant. So dollar stood still for naira throughout his regime. And that was so crazy, because how do you move money out of the country and still the money is still the same? So when you look at this, it's beginning to feel somehow that these things are rising, they are changing, the prices are changing every time, and then our country, and when things are increasing, the price of the money is going down. If you go there to US, if this thing that is happening to us happen there, you will be you will be amazed on what the citizens will do here, will do there. Yeah, imagine what you buy $2 today, they come for you and there's $5. you won't be happy. So I think that thing is affecting the standard of our living. So we have to understand that this is our reason, but there are some things that need to be done. So people are mismanaging funds.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for a wonderful podcast. And I would like to thank each and every one of us that have been watching this podcast. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much, our guests. Thank you very much for the mind and the things that you have said that will help our nation, Nigeria, to grow worldwide. So in our next episode, we may not actually be talking about just Nigerians. We will also be talking about the globe as general. So now I'll be coming to the end of